My name is Dr. Christian Rubalcaba. I am the Director of School Leadership. I also coordinate our district's Community School Planning Grant Initiative. Our district embarked on a journey. Earlier in the school year, we were awarded the Community School Planning Grant, which really initiated a 2-year process to go with our 5 Title I schools who were provided this grant to engage in a 2-year planning process to create 5 community schools. The 5 schools include Park Elementary, Laurel Elementary, Sunnybury Elementary, Lead Elementary, and Fiesta Gardens International School. These 5 schools have been on this journey of providing input in this process. And what I believe is really powerful about this experience is that this initiative, the Community School Partnership Initiative, really came at kind of the perfect time in our district because the community school philosophy and the model that we are following by the California Department of Education is a model that really is in sync with the belief structure and the foundation and beliefs of our strategic plan, which began also this year. So together, these 2 pieces kind of came together and were taken off together, right? What's really great to understand is that with the Community School Partnership Grant, there's this immense focus on shifting the voice to the families, right? And no longer are families feeling like on the fringes of decision making, but they're actually at the heart of it. And that's really key there, especially as we look at the history of our district. We recently passed an equity resolution. We recently passed a sanctuary task force resolution. And together, these 2 resolutions kind of brought life our ongoing efforts as a district to dismantle the school to prison pipeline actively in our district, and more specifically in our Title I schools. With this, right, comes this community school initiative that really brings to life this dismantling, the process of dismantling. When you're dismantling the school to prison pipeline, you are giving voice to the traditionally voiceless. You're giving power to the historically disempowered voices. With this process of the community school model in which we are providing input opportunities for all stakeholders, we are kind of highlighting and bringing to life the school to prison pipeline in a very active, not passive manner. We have a schedule of community evening events in which I go out to these 5 school communities, these 5 Title I school communities, and I literally engage them in that process of empowering them with knowledge of the current system, and then guiding them through that process of giving them that input opportunity where they get to decide the needs of the school, the needs of the students, and even more importantly, decide as a community what are the beautiful and assets of the community so that we can build on those. And that's really where the empowerment process happens and occurs because I just facilitate the meetings. I don't actually determine the qualitative data coming in, the ideas that are coming in, the stories that these families share. Every community is different. Every community has different needs, hopes, and dreams. But I think what unifies them is that belief in that if we come together and really look at what every child at that school, at any particular school needs, and we fill it with, and we provide it with that resource program or personnel, those wraparound services, we know that the students can thrive at maximal levels. We're really looking at not unlocking the potential of every child, but we're looking at going beyond that. And that is only possible with the empowerment process that I go through with every school site with all of the families involved. And as I mentioned, it's really great because with the strategic plan, it kind of anchors our work in every session, in every input opportunity, because within the goals that we look to advance around achievement, around wellness, and around equity, we really, that allows us a launching pad, right, into really honing in on the specific areas of need and the specific assets that we know each school offers our communities, so that when we're looking at some of the data coming in, it's super aligned to what the strategic plan is advancing right from the get-go. When we look at our L3 report, which is data focused around the root causes of what is coming in the way of student wellness and achievement, it's a lack of access to pre-K, right? Lack of access to extended learning opportunities, and a lack of access to rich literacy interventions, right? And so, as we look at the process that I take with our Title I schools who are part of this community school initiative, they're providing feedback that actually reflects a lot of what the L3 report is recommending, right? Access to pre-K, access to rich interventions, early interventions, and access also to extended learning, right? And so, as you can see, there's a lot of parity, there's a lot of kind of highlighting of the pieces that the community school model advances with what the strategic plan is kind of guiding us, as we move forward and navigate the school year with our students and families. I think it's also important to understand that the community school model kind of has four main pillars, right? We've got the first pillar on wraparound services, which, if you look at our strategic plan, a lot of these pieces are in place already. We've got social workers, we have mental health clinicians, we have a workforce of counselors at all of our sites. And, this pillar in the community school initiative model is really reflecting what's already happening in our district, which is great, right? And so as I come out to the families, I always say, look, these are the amazing things already happening, right? In great part due to our strategic plan, which outlines all these pieces and offers them, every day. But then I get to say, what else do you need? What else would you like, right? And so those questions are kind of the key. They're at the heart of the community school input process. And in the same fashion, right, we have another pillar, right, that kind of undergirds kind of the community school model. And that pillar is on extended and enriched learning opportunities, right? Now we're looking at expanding the learning day. So it extends beyond 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all the way through 6 or 7 p.m., right? And again, it's reflective of a lot of the programming that we currently have, except that with the community school model, right, we're putting it in place, adding more things to it, depending on each school's needs, right, and assets. It's really an asset-based model. And so we have these pillars, right, that again reflect a lot of what's already happening in our strategic plan. Our third pillar, which is on shared leadership and practices. This is where we get to build steering committees at each of the schools. And those have already been put into action as we speak. And again, that reflects, right, one of our 5 building blocks of our strategic plan, which is shared leadership, right? And so here's this process in which we provide families an opportunity to be a part of the steering committee so that they can interpret the input that's coming in from the community through surveys, through community night sessions, which are held every Wednesday. And they get to make the decisions, sift through the data themselves, right? It's not the district, it's not the state sifting through this, it's actually the family. And that's the next level of empowerment that is happening with the community school initiative. The fourth community school pillar is active family engagement and community engagement, which is already occurring, right? We already have these monthly community evening events in which we invite the family, all stakeholders come together, students, staff, teachers, and families come together, and we give them that empowerment process, right, of giving them information on how our district operates, what's currently being offered, which so many things are being currently offered. And then we give them that input opportunity, right? Asking them, what else do you want? What else do you need? How can we build on strengths, right? How can we, make the community stronger? Because it already is strong, right? We already have all these resources that are aligned and lined up in our strategic plan. And so together, these four pillars of our community school, right? Extended learning, wraparound services, shared leadership, and community and family active engagement. Together, those four pillars is what will make the transformation from a traditional school in these 5 communities to a community school. And again, what's exciting is that these 4 pillars are not working in isolation. We are working within the context of our strategic plan, which is breathing life and giving so much energy to these pillars so that we're actually ahead of the game in terms of our development process and that transition. And it's just so exciting to see where this is going. One of the most, in my view, is one of the most exciting things that we're doing here, and the steering committees at each of the sites is kind of leading the charge on, is providing student voice. That's like the key. Every steering committee for every school is developing a student voice plan. We're moving away for students. We're trying to move away from surveys, and we're actually looking to do focused student conversations with them to really go to the source, right? Children have an idea. They know what's working. They know what's not. They know what more they want in their school, and we're going to be very strategic, very methodic, and very kind of compassionate to their needs, right? Because we want to make sure that as we're crafting these 5 school communities, community schools, that it takes into account the student voice at each of the schools.